up, I want to be a scientist of designing cars.
When I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
A pastor.
I want to be a pilot. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
When I grow up, I want to be a pilot.
Now I want to be a nurse. When I grow up, I want to be a social worker.
First, my sister wakes me up and I bath and I brush my teeth. Sometimes I eat breakfast, but sometimes I'm full. And I pray and I walk with my cousin Naledi to school. It was fun to have teacher Emily in the class and she taught us music.
I think music is important and for many different reasons. I think first of all, like in a place like this, when I'm traveling to Kwamhlanga, it's something that I can connect with them because not all of them, especially the younger grades, speak English great. So it's kind of like a universal language. But beyond that, and I think even more importantly, I think music is something that helps kids develop creatively. And spiritually, it's a huge part of their culture. And it's just something that, you know, they go to church on Sundays and they sing at the top of their lungs, like they all have great voices and no one's ashamed of what they sound like. And it's just something that gives them courage and a positivity about their life. The Western approach to teaching music is much more scholastic and much more mental. It's, you know, reading music and writing music and everything has to be perfect. And the way these kids approach music is so much more communal and it's all singing together and just experiencing music, you know, in church on Sundays or like at home with their families, singing gospel music. My first class was with the grade R students, and none of them speak English. So here I had in my lesson plan an English song to teach them, and it was just going to be a little bit more difficult than I expected. So I kind of changed my whole approach once I got here and thought about the things that they already knew about music, like moving to the rhythm they're naturally good at, something that American kids struggle with. So I decided to spend less time on that and more time on things like writing music down and reading music that they hadn't experienced before. The way that I view missions is much more relational, and I think that there's a lot of good work to be done with the groups that come over for a week. I mean, here they've built a soccer field and they create this huge positive energy. There's people coming and giving camps. But for me, I think my pace is a little bit slower and I like to take my time establishing relationships and being able to share Christ by showing my love to other people and sharing my gifts with them that God's given me. I also chose to stay in Kwamhlanga with one of the teachers' families rather than living in Pretoria and traveling back and forth because I wanted to know how they experienced life. And if the purpose of this trip was to be relational and to show Christ's love through building relationships, I wanted to make sure that I understood them as completely as possible.
We arrived here in 1999. It was very, very difficult. My father died first in 2007. Then my mother died in 2008. And I was 16 and she was 5 years old. So it was very, very, very difficult for me to look after her on my own. But we have a sponsor in America who always bought us a grocery every month. And we've been living with that since then. So we've been living with my big brother, myself and her. Going to church, that makes me very happy. It keeps me strong. And even with people at Mukhanyo, they used to encourage me now and then. If I need help, sometimes they even offer to help me. So I am happy now. I like acting. I want to become an actress. I also want to finish my computer, to study office administration. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
The teachers here, not only are they giving them a God-centered education and showing them the love of Christ in every day, but they're also giving them an excellent academic preparation.
I registered for a teacher's course here at Mukhanyo, and I didn't even know how I was going to repay for my fees, my studies. When I started working with children, they gave me a picture of how God sees me. Now, looking at those children playing so carefree, knowing that somebody's looking after them, that is what made me love working with kids. I have a 7-month-old baby girl. She just brings so much joy to my life. I pray that we lead her to the right path as she grows up. I know that she is a gift from God, and she's not really ours. God has just trusted me and my husband with her.
I had music as a subject at school, but there's a lot of children here who music is kind of like something you hear on the radio, you hear in church, on a taxi, but I think it's a different experience to actually hold an instrument in your own hands and to have a teacher standing in front of you and saying, let's play it, or let's listen to the sound, or what can you hear? That's completely a different experience. I think extramural activities is very important, and it's a must-have. Every school should have that.
So there's a huge importance of building sponsorships for the school, because it's a school for AIDS kids and orphans and children that just have hard families. But we've been able to sustain support with it recently, but have been struggling a little bit getting sponsors. And one of the reasons for that is because when people sponsor a child, they want to feel a connection with them and be able to see what their life is like and know what they're doing is doing something good. And so one of the other things I was doing when I was here is building a profile of students, and that included taking pictures of all of them and getting to know each of the kids individually. So a lot of times throughout the day, I just kind of like sit in the grade art classroom and just see the kids participating and trying to understand their different personalities and characteristics and what they were good at and what they were bad at. None of their families are perfect. All of them are from broken families in some way. And it's just been amazing to see them push themselves and try to succeed. And they're all so excited about learning, and every day you just walk in and they're excited to see you and happy to be in the classroom. And they work hard and they try hard. They're learning because they really enjoy to learn. I think that these kids are tomorrow's leaders and that they'll be amazing in whatever they do.